Well, hello everybody who's supposed to be watching my Facebook, YouTube live stream right now that failed miserably because I have no idea why. Once again, that's why there is Tom Brown III's field guide to starting a business but being born in the wrong century in my YouTube playlist. So this will substitute for that video. My main reason for wanting to do something to YouTube tonight or Facebook was to, now that I've got YouTube streaming down and my podcast there, just to branch out, reach as many different ears as possible. And, even though it failed miserably, I think I figured out what I did wrong. Really, though, this was a preparation for the very special event that will take place this Saturday on my YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Central Time. And normally, as you know, I do a live stream every Sunday, but January 3rd marks a very special anniversary. 47 years and 3-month anniversary. Because if you think back, if you've taken a standard class, my father told a story about how Tracker School came to be and the book The Tracker. And he says that after I was born, he remembered that grandfather told him on one of their last days together that one day you will have a son. And when your son is born, you're to take him to the good medicine place back in the Pine Barrens and lift your pipe in thanksgiving during the moon of purification, which is January. And this year it falls on January 3rd. My father hadn't been back there in years. Throws me in the Land Cruiser, no car seat, probably just bundled up, and drives back into the woods. And what was once a beautiful, pristine piece of Pine Barrens had become a toxic waste dump. You know, my father says he had to lay me down on a pile of trash to lift his pipe. And, while this story in itself is powerful, there's an even more powerful lesson to this. Before that night, my father's plan was when I was old enough to carry my own weight, so 5 or 6, he, my mother, and my older brother were going to disappear into the Bob Marshall Wilderness out in Montana and just get out of society because it was such a disaster. And that was his dream. And that's everything he worked to that point. But when that night, when he went back into the pines, as grandfather asked him, because grandfather knew what awaited, my father realized that his dream was selfish and that his vision was to take what he learned those 10 years with Stalking Wolf and his 10 years of wandering, and along with a little gentle nagging from my mom, write the book The Tracker and then start the Tracker School. So that's why it's an important night for me, especially because, everyone talks about dream jobs and having their dream job. People ask me what my dream job is. Well, thankfully I get a double dose because, this is sort of my dream job. Although it'd be much more dreamy if I actually, could make enough money to make a living off of it. We'll talk more about that on Saturday, though. But like, if I could think of a dream job, it would be to be, a Nikon ambassador that works with National Geographic, that goes and sits in the woods for 2 years to try to get a photo of some animal that, they're incredibly rare, or, a fly fishing guide or something like that. That would be my dream job. But like my father before me, I was handed a vision, which I readily accepted, to forsake all other paths and step onto the one that led as most people as I possibly could back into the bosom of Earth Mother. And now with these new tools I got after my 5-year hermitage that I'm just starting to be able to put words to, things are going to get quite interesting. I have to say, I miss my father so much, even though he's with me all the time and he's mad because what was done to me as my father's oldest son, as an experience level next to none compared to him and a few others out there. The fact that not once since my father took his final walk was I ever asked to be part of any council or meeting about the future of his legacy. When I left that place in 2009 with his pure legacy, so that it didn't get corrupted like is happening now. That's not saying that there's not good people there, but just like in the real world, there's the 99%. 99% of my worldwide tracker family, I love you to death, but it's just that 1% that has to try to ruin it for everybody. And because of that 1%, I've had to endure things these last few years that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. So, with that, I declare freedom from all of that. My grandfather knew that my path was different from my father's. I'm trying to teach old skills in a new way for a new era in a new generation. And I will continue to do that in any way, shape, or form I can. And now, finally, after 4 years of being moved about like a chess piece, I'm in a place with people who care for me, who want to see me shine, who got me a new freaking camera body, for crying out loud. Do you know how good it was today and yesterday when it wasn't 90 below to go out with a camera again and take photos? I didn't even take that many photos because I was too busy crying because of their generosity. So just always know I don't do this for anything but the miracles that I've seen what I teach cause, and the profound change that deep nature connection has on individuals, groups, and communities. And just like my father before me, there will be no retirement. I will teach until my last breath. And thankfully, now that's going to be a lot longer in the future than it was. So thank you all I apologize to you all for missing the Facebook live stream. But I will make it up to you on Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central, on my YouTube channel. I will make a post with the link and everything tomorrow. But once again, thank you for standing by my side. And speaking of my new camera, I wanted to show you a few photos that I've gotten with it thus far. So here's some rabbit tracks that I got just at golden hour yesterday. I didn't think there was any rabbits around here until it snowed, and then they're everywhere. And then, as my love for macro photography, I got this photo, this end cut of this log, and I just love the contrasts and the think about how many times you could ask the sacred question about that log right there. So until Sunday, stay happy, stay healthy, love one another, especially in this holiday season. Random acts of kindness go a long way. And we do have the power to change things for the better. My father was always talking about the end times and this and that and the other thing. I take a bit more positive approach. Uh, Regardless of what happens to us, the earth will be just fine. We may not be, but the earth will be fine. But I still think through technology, being able to talk to people all over the world, has the ability to create the sea change we need to flip the script and lead a different life. So until Saturday night, y'all, peace, love, joy, and most of all, purpose beyond self.